welcome to SteamPunk. This is your host, SteamPunk Bob, and today we roll up a newspaper and swat some bad bots on the nose. Bad Bots is a budget action game. You wake up in a ship's garbage hold, not sure why you're there. The door's locked, so you go deeper into the dump and find two things. An axe and this thing, you can see it on my back, looking way less awesome and helpful than Clank. This robot is supposed to be the ship's historian bot, but she really sets off a lot of red flags for me. I studied under a con artist for a while, and this thing reminds me of those tactics every time she opens her vocal circuits. Oh yeah, the ship's AI is gonna get you. Yep, she's mad at me too, so we're in this together. You should kill her. For yourself. Not to help me, because I'm just a robot helping you out in a subservient position. I'm not the real villain of the story, after all. This opinion of Mother, which is the ship historian's name, actually colored a section of the story for me. I reached the escape pods, and the ship's AI, who my buddy insisted had gone axe crazy trying to kill every human on the ship, helpfully offered an escape pod to me. She claimed that somebody else corrupted the robots on the ship, and I think I know who it is on my back. Anyway, once she left, the actual villain said the ship's AI was threatening me rather than doing her job. And if that didn't convince me to go kick her ass so Mother's rule of the robots on the ship could be complete, she suddenly revealed to me that the AI's plan is to attack Earth and kill all humans on the planet. Don't lie to me, I know that's your plan once she's out of the way. Gameplay is very simplistic. You quickly get an axe, which doesn't hurt, and not long afterwards a gun, which only tickles enemies. You can also carry one special weapon at a time. There's a large number of special weapons at least, but I'm not completely sure what the difference is between some of them. The shotgun I understand. The pink death cannon is amazingly useful. But what's the difference between the plasma machine gun thingy and the dual shot? They both fire rapidly, and I think they do more damage than my basic weapon? I don't know, I tend to carry a shotgun, that awesome assault cannon, or the high-tech science crossbow that I know does more damage than my normal attacks. The action is mediocre. As I implied, I don't feel any real oomph from my weapons. It's not really a horror game. Aside from the first 10 minutes or so, I have never been short of bullets. Ever. Now, my comments on the action being mediocre. The opinion changes when I get to one room that's quarantined with the doors locked. These enemies are not scary. I won't run out of bullets. There is no indication on how many more of these knife bots will come out of the space woodwork, so this room just felt like a boring slog. I actually wandered around to see if there was some sort of emergency door release or something so I could move on, because it was taking so long. I thought the game had to be hung or waiting for me to do something, but no. You just have a dull shooting gallery of non-threatening enemies. Maybe that quarantine arena could be forgiven. Once. But then I moved on, and I eventually started running into these rooms back to back. Guys, if I come out of your marathon survival room with more health and bullets than I entered it, you're doing something wrong. I still don't see any indication for how much is left of the room, so it's just a non-tense tedium until the game feels like letting me continue. It's here that my little robot buddy kept going on and on about how great it was back when this was a warship, and how she had a battle robot body she could download herself into, and I'm on to you. This is an example, though, that the boss fights are underwhelming. They're more enjoyable than those damned quarantine survival arena rooms, though, because the bosses have a health bar, so I know when they're going to end at minimum. The audio design...
It stinks!
Every 2.7 nanoseconds when you're in the same room as a large group of enemies, you'll hear, "Target found, target found, target found, target..." I know! Shut up! Please! And the music. The music for this game about action and combat, and shooting lots and lots of robots is...
Tonight on Music from Hearts of Space, we'll go on a cosmic joyride with some space music by various Bay Area artists.
And as far as the appropriateness of the music for a game about fighting for your life and shooting and all this stuff, it sounds like, well, Tom Servo describes it best.
At the end of the hour, we'll have information about the types of sedatives used by tonight's artists.
Have you ever played Painkiller? That game was also about running around and shooting stuff. You were shooting demons, not robots, but let's look at how Bad Bots would look if it had a real action soundtrack. The gameplay is still only mediocre at best, but at least it sounds way better. It sounds like I'm really getting out there and killing something. But no, I guess we can go with this new age meditation soundtrack instead. Is it too much to ask that my violent oil bath have an electric guitar somewhere in the soundtrack? Bad Bots also, unfortunately, shares a couple marks of death with the absolute worst game I have ever reviewed for this show, Valdez Story, Abyssal City. Up is used as jump, which I'll admit is a personal pet peeve of mine that can work correctly. But it also gives the enemies the ability to stun lock you, which should never be in a game. If you want to make an enemy lethal, just make them kill me in one hit. Really, I would rather an enemy do 30 damage than make me unable to move for 5 seconds, where I get tagged for 1 HP 30 times. That's the only thing that makes the quarantine rooms any sort of dangerous. If you fail to jump over the group, you get stabbed 10, 15 times before you can move again. While I think Bad Bots is, well, bad, I do have to say I see some glimmers of hope to it. The animation, especially of our protagonist, is very smooth, and whenever you save your game or load a checkpoint, you're given a little status thing that says where you are and what your current mission is. In a linear game, I really like that. The comment about it being linear is not a negative point, by the way. Especially if you're new to making games, it's much easier to make a good or even great linear experience than an okay or good sandbox. I don't hate the makers of this game, but this particular outing just isn't very engaging. Anyway, this is SteamPunk Bob, out.